Hello, and welcome back to the On the Reel with Andrew podcast, where me and my revolving group of friends discuss any and everything in the world of film and TV. I'm your host, Andrew Washington, and joining me again for the, what is this, fourth time? I don't know, but number of some time, third, Jack Mayer. Hello.
Andrew, I am so excited to be here. We're talking heated rivalry. It's the best show on TV. So much gay sex, so much hockey. I can't wait to get
J-May, we're
Andrew, is this the
we're doing Oscars today. Did you not get that memo? Yeah, we're doing the Oscars one. Yeah.
Okay, I can pivot. This is fine. Okay. Andrew, I'm so excited to be here talking about the Oscars. Not Connor Story's butt. Yeah, no, very excited to be here.
Very, very fun morning for all of us cinephiles and all of us movie lovers. Somewhat of a surprising morning as well. I was just saying right before, not incredibly surprising except for a few shutouts, but I think we were having a little bit of a disagreement on that. What are your biggest kind of like overall surprises before we get into the nominations?
Biggest overall surprise is that Wicked for Good got completely shut out of everything. Like, no technicals, no song. I'm actually surprised that Wicked missed in categories that I thought it was going to perform in, even if the movie itself didn't perform well. But, like, nothing in production design, nothing for Steven Schwartz for those two original songs that he wrote for that movie.
Yeah, no.
Crazy. Also, like, just on a personal one, nothing for Sorry Baby.
That was a big surprise
miss
for me too.
but not the most surprising in the world. But Wicked was definitely the biggest.
I think those are two that I would really agree with. Wicked was like, I didn't even notice that it didn't get nominated at first. Like, I feel like when I see the Oscar nominations every single time, I'm just like so geeked to see them. And so like I read them all and I'm like, oh my God. And then I have to go back through and realize like, okay, who didn't get picked? Like I never noticed the snubs until like way after. When I went back and saw that Ariana wasn't in supporting actress, I was like, did Wicked get nothing? Because they were pushing hard for her to get supporting actress, like crazy hard. And it won production design and costume design last year. And, you know, it could have done the repeat a la, you know, Dune Part 2, kind of doing the same thing. But no, I guess the Academy voters just realized the movie's not that good. Which I also think it made me, in retrospect, look back at the first movie and be like, what was that? Like, like 10 nominations? Like, were we serious with that?
As someone who felt like the two films were of about similar quality, I will say I'm very surprised that one very overperformed at the Oscars and one very underperformed at the Oscars.
I would agree. That's probably my biggest shocker. And then no true real, surprise as far as something that got nominated instead. I think the song Sung Blue of it all is probably the most surprising to anybody. I'm not surprised that she's in there. I'm just surprised that Chase isn't, from One Battle After Another. But because I feel like if you've seen Song Sung Blue, it makes a lot of sense, especially it being like the Christmas movie and like the recency bias of it all. And
Sure.
you know, I mean, they as far as I know, they like Kate Hudson. I don't think they have any beef with her. I just am surprised that it came at the sacrifice of Chase Infinity not getting an Oscar nomination. Like, of all of the people in this 5, I would have thought like Emma Stone would have been on the chopping block for that.
You think the Academy is going to pass up a chance to nominate their Golden Girl? No shot.
And part of me was wondering, I was like, is that going to carry her through the nomination because of just how much they love her? And it did. Let's get into the specific nominations though, instead of just like talking very loosely about things. While we're here, actually, let's go ahead and start. I know I said we were starting with male actor, but let's start with lead actress, since we were already talking about it. For the listeners, the other part of this episode that we're going to be doing, if you listen to the Oscars episode last year, we're going to be doing our own nominations for some of the more above the line awards. So the acting awards and writing and directing and picture. We'll get to some of those later, but the nominees are Jessie Buckley from Hamnet, Rose Byrne from If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson from Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsva from Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone from Bugonia. Jamie, who is your will win, should win in this category? And give me a brief why.
Will win Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. I think that she's the performance with the momentum. I think her speeches have been great. She gives a tour de force powerhouse performance in Hamnet. She is the reason why you go see the movie. It all rests on her shoulders. Uh, so she's my will win. My should win of these five, I would say,
Mm,
is Rose Byrne, who is in a movie I liked
mm,
less than Hamnet, but who gave a performance I liked more than Buckley's. I think Byrne has a lot to do in that movie, and she has to walk a really fine line, and she pulls it off
mm,
masterfully. It is a hard film to sit
mm.
through, so I can only imagine how hard it was to act in. So she's my should win.
Okay, fair, fair. I Of these five, my will win, should win, I think are both going to be Jessie Buckley. Mostly just because of my relationship with Hamnet and just how much I love that movie. I've said many times on the podcast, I've seen it 3 times. It's my second favorite movie of last year. Rose Byrne is excellent and amazing in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Like, she would probably be my second choice as far as lead performance in this category. If I were going based off of how much I liked the movies, then I'd say Emma Stone would probably be my next in line. But as far as the performances, I just think that Jessie Buckley is doing stuff in Hamnet that I don't think we'll see for a while, and I think will be studied by other actresses in the future. So that one was pretty easy for me in that regard. Jamie, what are your personal nominations for lead actress? Your OTR-scars nominations, if you will.
Oh, I love the OTR-scars. Um, I think my personal 5 would probably be Buckley and Hamnet, Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Renata Reinsva in
Hmm.
Sentimental Value, and to keep those 3. And then I would take
Hmm.
out Hudson and Stone, and I would put up Amanda
Hmm.
Seyfried in The Testament of Anne Lee and Ava Victor in Sorry Baby.
That makes a lot of sense. I know how much you love Sorry
Yeah.
Baby.
I loved Ava Victor
Hmm.
specifically in Sorry Baby.
You and Julia Roberts are right in there together. Julia
Yeah.
Roberts, I know, is kicking.
Same amount of influence.
Right. My personal nominees are most of the same. I'm keeping Buckley, I'm keeping Byrne, I'm keeping Stone. I'm also gonna say Amanda Seyfried. I think if she were in this category, she would be. I'd split her with Buckley as far as my should win. Um, but and then instead of Ava Victor, I would choose Chase Infinity from One Battle After Another, just because I truly think if any performance runs that movie, it's hers. And I think it's kind of crazy that of all the performances that got attention, I mean, and everybody else that's in that movie is great. Um, I have my opinions about their characters, but I just feel like it's crazy that the voters watch that movie and are like, oh, everybody but her. And I yeah, I don't know. Or at
Yeah.
least people that watch like that movie and Song Sung Blue and are like Kate over Jason Infinity. I just think I don't know. Maybe it's most likely because of her youth and this being a debut performance, and it being the lead category. I think if she was in supporting, she'd probably win, but that would just be category fraud.
Agreed on both counts. I think actress in a leading role is by far the most
Hmm.
competitive category this year. I think there were like 8 or 9 great performances that could have made up any
Hmm.
permutation of this category, where I would have been like, "Okay, I understand why
Yeah.
it's those 5 that got chosen." I think that was my, like, big takeaway of this year, and I
Hmm.
think the nominees sort of reflect this, is that it was a year of great performances in good movies.
That's fair. I think I like some of the movies more than you do, but I would see that I think some of these performances do outshine the films as a whole. Kind of how I feel about sentimental value, but we're not going to
Yeah.
go there right now. For the next category that we're going to cover, let's look at supporting actress. The nominees are Elle Fanning from Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdatter Lilias, is that how you pronounce it? I think that's right. From Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan from Weapons, Ain't Gladys, Wunmi Mosaku from Sinners, period, and Tiana Taylor from One Battle After Another, also period. Um, I would say, as far as my will win, should win. I think Tiana Taylor is going to take it. I think Tiana Taylor is going to have an Oscar on March 15th, which is amazing for her, and I love that for her so much. Given these 5 presented, I think that Wunmi Musaku should win, just because I find her character to be. I mean, well, obviously the easy version is to say like she's in the movie more, she's like more present. But I just think her character is a lot more interesting, and I don't know. I feel like I just remembered her more at the end of the film than I did with Tiana. I mean, again, Tiana is like a very memorable part of that movie, but I have I think more issues with her character after time that I've had with the movie. I think I've just uh, liked her character and her performance just a little bit less. But no, yeah. So I'd say I think that she though is still gonna take it, but Wunmi would probably be my should win.
Yeah, I think that is fair on both counts. I loved when me and Sinners. I thought she was great. Will win. I agree. I think it's going to be Tiana Taylor. I think like lights out performance from her. Genuinely, like again, is only in the movie
Hmm.
for maybe the first 40 minutes of it, and then her
Hmm.
presence is felt throughout the rest of it. Though it is a case
Hmm.
of like haunting the narrative.
Yeah.
My should win, I'd gotta go with Inga Ibsdottir Lilius for sentimental value because I loved sentimental value. I know you were not as big a fan of this movie, and that's totally fair. The other distinction that we should make is that I am white, and that is a white person movie. It
Uh-huh.
is a movie from Norway,
Uh-huh.
and it
Uh-huh.
is very white, and it
Yes.
is a
Yes,
white
yes,
people
yes.
movie. White people eat up sentimental value. They eat up white people relationships with their
This is
white siblings and their white
all of this
dads
is
and their
so
white
true.
actress people.
Oh my god.
Like
Hmm.
it's a really white movie, but I think that Inga Imzana
I,
Lilius
no,
is phenomenal in this white movie.
listen again. Like I said, I think that is a movie where the performances, all of them, these two, Renata, Stellan, who's my favorite of all of them in the movie. I think they run this movie like in a way and just
Mhm.
like shot it into the stratosphere that it's in. I just like you said, it is a white movie. I think that might just be the core of my disconnection with it. But shout
Mhm.
out to it, and shout out to everybody that loves it.
Yeah, and shout out to white people. We can cut that. We can cut that. We don't need that in here.
Oh my god.
But yes, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius, I think, gives
Mhm.
a phenomenal performance in sentimental value. I think that last scene with her and Renata, I think
Mhm.
she is the anchor of that scene, and I think she is what really helps sell a lot of it when she's like hearing Renata talk about like what her problems were and being able to give back of like I
Mhm.
didn't have these problems because I had you. I think that is such a powerful sort of
Mhm.
catharsis between the two, and I think she is a
Mhm.
real driver of that. And I think she also has maybe my favorite
Mm.
role in of like the four of them, because it is
Yeah.
like a real four-hander with them. But I think she has my
Yeah.
favorite part to play in that
In that
uh
whole thing. Yeah, no. I do agree
group.
with that. I do agree with that. Okay. What are your personal OTR-scare nominations for supporting actress?
This was tough. I think I would keep Elle Fanning, Inga Lilias, Teyana Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and Wunmi Mosaku to be
Masako, yeah.
Masako.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd keep the four of them actually, and then I'd just swap out Amy Madigan for Regina Hall.
Very fair. I get that. I was not a strong weapons fan, so she was her character was
Neither was
memorable. I don't know that I nominate her for an Oscar. I think that's a legacy situation. But okay, that's very very fair. This was a category that I probably had the hardest time with, particularly as it comes to One Battle After Another. I was trying like really hard to not give at least multiple noms in these categories just to like kind of spread out. But so in that sense and with that in mind, my supporting actress nominees are I think I'm only keeping one of these. So I'm keeping Wunmi Mosaku from Sinners. I am replacing everybody else with, all right, here we go. Regina Hall from One Battle After Another. Jodie Comer from 28 Years Later. Odessa Azion from
Good
Marty
shout.
Supreme. And Glenn Close from Wake Up Dead Man. Those are my personal
Oh,
supporting actress nominees for this year. No shade to the Sentimental Value crew. And no shade to Tiana Taylor. Like I said, I was like back and forth between. I literally have written on here Tiana Taylor / Regina Hall. Like I just made that decision like, like just now. But as far as horror performances or supporting performances in horror films go this year, Wunmi Mosaku and Jodie Comer are the two that stand out for me. Odessa Zion, I just love in Marty Supreme, and I was actually pretty surprised that she didn't get a nomination, or at least like her or Gwyneth Paltrow, like none of the other supporting performances from Marty Supreme. And then Glenn Close in Wake Up Dead Man is like my favorite performance from any Knives Out movie. I loved her in Wake Up Dead Man. So I just, and also, I just think that that movie didn't get any love this year with the nominations, which Knives Out rarely does, but at least it gets a screenplay.
It's the first of the three to miss screenplay, which I think is shocking considering it's a better script than Glass Onion.
Exactly.
Comer's a really good shout as well. I
Mm.
would put her in lead actress personally, but if we're going supporting, I would actually fully throw her in over Elle Fanning.
I just evaluate her more as supporting, considering just because Spike's character is really kind of what's driving that for me. And like
Mhm.
even in scenes with the two of them, I feel like Spike is kind of driving it. And so in that she just felt more, it just felt more like a supporting performance.
That's fair. I'm also looking at the list again. I might
Hmm.
actually make a swap real quick as well. I think I'm still gonna take out
Hmm.
Madigan and take out Elle Fanning and put in those two. I think I'm also gonna take out Teyana Taylor and swap her for J-Lo in Kiss of the Spider Woman. Listen, not only did she give a phenomenal performance in Kiss of the Spider Woman, but apparently she was rude to the Glambot guy, which is like double points.
All of that drama, the Glambot drama has just been so
This is the thing we have to like have drama over the Glambot. Like, really, this is Twitter's villain of the week.
I'm not gonna say I'm here for it. I don't know the guy, but it's just so funny. They were like, it's over for you bundles.
Uh,
But okay,
it's
all right.
really
So okay, all right, let's move on. Leading actor. This so earlier you were saying that like lead actress is the most competitive, and usually lead actress is the most competitive, but I feel like lead actor this year might edge it out just a little bit, just because like we have these three performances in Timothy Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Michael B. Jordan. I mean, and then also Ethan Hawke from Blue Moon and Wagner Moura from The Secret Agent. All great. I know you love Blue Moon.
I did. Blue Moon's my favorite movie of the year.
So you're happy. But but I think
I mean, not really in this picture.
2 nominations, which is, more than Wicked.
Which is one more than I was expecting, which is nice.
But you have in these 3 performances Chalamet, DiCaprio, and Michael B. Jordan, like 3, I think, of the most like contentious, like like these 3 are literally like duking it out like everywhere.
3 of them are duking out, and then Wagner Moura is just coming in like and be like, hey guys, how's it going? You mind if a Brazilian boy speak a little Oscars?
Right. Oh my God. But I think Timothy's gonna take it. I think this might be his year. He's going the hardest for it, for sure. I think it might end up working out in his favor. But I think because he's young, that's what's helping. Like if he was old doing this, it would be a little like pitiful, I feel like. But like him being 30, being like, oh, I'm like, young go-getter energy, I want the Oscar, like it's like endearing. To an extent. It's the lengths to which that he's gone at certain point. Like I don't know how much the SD Kid verse is gonna carry with Oscars voters. But I think his face being in a lot of places is mostly what matters. Because that's part of what I was talking to myself about regarding Chase's snub, was that I think Warner Brothers got a bit too complacent with, because I think from the jump people were like, oh, Chase Infinity, and so they kind of really early were like, oh, she's good, and then just kind of like stopped doing stuff with her and focused a lot of their energy in other campaigns for that movie.
Agreed.
And it ultimately hurt her. I think him being in everybody's face all the time is gonna do him wonders. So I'd place him as my will win, and then I think my should win is between him and Michael B. Jordan, just because I love Sinner so much. I mean Timothy, his performance is like, honestly, I think his performance is more memorable in ways than Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan played 2 different characters, so it's just technically more harder or more difficult. But I love both of those movies so much. I really, really do.
Will win Timothy. I think it's the Marty Supreme year. He's gonna Schwepp. The momentum is still there for that movie, and
now it's like A24's highest grossing movie ever or something.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like good for Josh Safdie, but like that's a crazy stat. But I think he's gonna win it. Should win Hawk Blue Moon. I think despite him only being 5 feet tall, he gives a towering performance.
Which I have to say, that was taking me out the whole movie, because I'm like, this man is not 5 feet tall. I'm like, that camera is clearly just really high.
The funny part about it is always that like he looks like normal Ethan Hawke height when he's sitting down.
No, his arms are still Ethan Hawke height length though, so they only made his legs shorter. That's what is so weird. It's like they cut 9 inches off of his legs.
They just like took it at, they like materialists his leg, or reverse materialist.
His fingertips come down to his shins.
No, I thought Ethan Hawke was great in that movie. I think that movie solely relies on him as a performer and what he is able to bring in terms of the sadness to that movie, what he like brings working off of Andrew Scott, Bobby Cannavale, Margaret Qualley, like everyone. He is just like giving everything, taking what he needs to. I think that movie is so well acted and sneakily well directed, because it feels like it could be something that you just go see as a play. But I think the editing and pace really lends itself to film. And I think a lot of that does have to do with the way that Hawke like moves.
That's fair. That's fair. I will say it did make me I put Oklahoma on one of my monthly watch lists because of it. I just got to see what all the gripe is about.
You got to see what that hack Hammerstein was up to.
He said it's annoyingly safe, or it's completely inoffensive or something. Yeah. That's a great
Yeah.
scene. What are your personal nominees?
Personal nominees for the story. This is also a tough category. I will keep Hawk for sure. I will also say
Mhm.
DiCaprio I'll keep. And I'll
Mm.
probably keep Michael B. Jordan as well. Because I was not as high on Sinners, but I
Mhm.
really loved him in Sinners. As like both Smoke and Stack, he's able to
Yeah.
make them so distinct that like I kind of forget that it is a dual
Right.
performance and that he's not there just like
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
both
no.
characters. Again, personally, I'd swap Chalamet and Wagner for Lee Byung
Mhm.
Hung in No Other Choice. I'd throw in there, and then a little bit of a pivot, but I stand by it. Joaquin Phoenix and Eddington.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Joaquin Phoenix. That man will either give me like my favorite or least
Mhm.
favorite performance of the year, and no matter what, he'll usually get like
Mhm.
some sort of recognition for it. It's a very specific kind of pathetic that I think he plays really well. I think it's so great when in a Joaquin Phoenix movie when he gets slapped and he can't do anything
Uh-huh.
about it because he's such a
Gets
pussy.
slapped to Katy Perry's Firework, mind you.
I think he's great in that movie. I think that movie is all like was never gonna
Uh,
get any recognition from the Oscars,
okay.
but I think it should have. And I think Joaquin was the ones who should have been recognized because I think he gives a
Okay. All right.
great
Fair.
performance in
I'll say he
Eddington.
is the most memorable part of that movie. I'm not Eddington Hive, but it was enjoyable. No Chalamet is interesting.
Yeah, he's good, but again, like was not like something that really spoke to me.
My nominees, we agree on a few points. I would keep Michael B. Jordan. I would keep Chalamet. That one we don't agree with. I would keep DiCaprio. I would also well, I'm taking out Hawk and Mora. Sorry to Blue Moon. But I'm putting in Lee Byung Hun from No Other Choice. So we agree on that. And my fifth choice is Jesse Plemons from Begonia, our Cannes Best Actor winner. I just love Begonia. I think Begonia is a great movie, all around, and I think he's great in it. Performance wise, especially, it's a great movie.
There were a couple that I could have thrown in there to be honest, like Clooney and Jay Kelly I really liked as well. Yeah, like Edgerton in Train Dreams, Brendan
Hmm.
Fraser in Rental Family. I think we're all like really solid performances this year that I'm surprised didn't get more attention.
As far as Jay Kelly though, that one was one that I was surprised that didn't. Well, I wasn't that big of a Jay Kelly fan, but just as far as the Oscars goes,
Mhm.
was surprised that it didn't do as well. They're so narcissistic. They love jerking themselves off. But that's lead
Mhm.
actor. Let's go to supporting actor before we get into some of the below the line nominees. The nominees for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role are Benicio del Toro from One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi from Frankenstein, Crazy to Say, Delroy Lindo from Sinners, So Amazing, Sean Penn from One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård from Sentimental Value. I'm so happy that Delroy Lindo got an Oscar nomination. I literally, that was the one thing I was stuck on like all morning. I was like, oh my God. That was the one nomination from this movie that I was like worried wasn't going to make it through, but it did also. Completely forgot to mention
Mhm.
Sinners broke the record for the most nominations for a single film like ever. 16
Yeah,
nominations, broke it by two,
16
mind you,
nominations.
not even like just like a
Crazy.
little bit like
Yeah,
like
like
a
it was like a
margin.
good margin.
Which shout out to Sinners, congratulations to that whole team. But I just love Delroy Lindo as an actor so much. He should have won in 2020 for The Five Bloods. Wasn't even nominated.
Yes, he should have. Oh my god. No, that should have been like a shoe-in win.
I'm partly viewing it as retribution and reparations for that. But I am just so glad to see him here in this category. He would be my should win of everybody here. Considering, I mean,
Mhm.
one, two, three, four of these performances I am absolutely in love with. You know, four of them I would keep in my own. We'll get to that in a
Mhm.
second. But Delroy would probably be my should win. As far as will win, I do think Stellan is going to take it. Just because I think he has that momentum right now, and also he has the. If the Legacy Award is going to help anybody, I think it would be him. I don't think Amy Madigan has enough momentum
Mhm.
behind her for that to push her all the way. But Stellan, I think, definitely does. And also like his win at the Golden Globes. I think just might have locked it even more. He didn't get nominated for SAG, but I think that was because of like eligibility rules or something.
I don't know what SAG was thinking with, like, completely shitting out sentimental value.
That's why I think it has to be some, because it's an international film. There's some like some rules that some criteria that it didn't like check off for being eligible or something. But yeah, so I do think Stellan's gonna take it, but I think that Delroy should win. And I on the Legacy Award tip, like it really should be Delroy. Like, but that's a whole another deep conversation. But who's your will win should win?
This is the hardest one for Will win, I think, because I do think there's a couple people here who
Hmm.
have momentum in different ways, but I think
Yeah.
Stellan is our Will win. Gives a great performance, plays like the worst dude ever in that movie, and yet like you still feel some like
Hmm.
sort of sympathy by the end of it for him, which I think is an impressive sort of, again,
Yeah.
wire act to pull off. Should win. It's tough. I'm between two for this, and I'm
Mm.
between Sean Penn and Jacob Elordi, which is like as
Right.
broad a spectrum you can get. I think I'll give my should win to Elordi, and I will only give my should win to Elordi because he's the thing that saves Frankenstein for me.
That's fair.
I think he solely is the reason why I didn't walk away from that movie thinking it was bad, because I thought the first half of that movie, when he wasn't in it, was dreadful, and I had such a hard time getting through it. And then
Mhm.
once we got to The Creature's Tale, it locked in so hard for me. He gets the should win just on the strength of him saving the
That's
movie
fair.
from
That's
being a
fair. I
total
was I was
disaster.
gonna I was gonna make a joke when you said Jacob Elordi and Sean Penn. I was gonna be like Frankenstein's monster and Jacob Elordi. but but no, I that is fair. I'm a Frankenstein fan. I seem to be, based on everything that I've talked to, I seem to be the person that likes Frankenstein the most of like our whole friend group. And it's like it wasn't my favorite movie of the year. It was in my top 10.
That is fun.
But like everybody has so many issues with Frankenstein. I think Frankenstein's a great movie, but one thing that we don't disagree on as far as that movie is Jacob Elordi's performance. As far as my personal nominations for this award, like I said, four of these nominees I'm in love with, and four of them I'm keeping. I'm keeping Benicio for One Battle After Another. His performance was more memorable to me than Sean Penn. I think partly just because my brain likes to just forget like the racist people.
Mhm.
Not that, being like a character being racist means that it's a poorly written character, but I think that's why he kind of gets pushed out in my brain. And especially considering that, like, Benicio,
Yeah,
the energy that Benicio brings to like every scene that he's in, I just think is so much more magnetic than Sean Penn. um, but
he's so
so I'm keeping
yeah.
Benicio, I'm keeping Jacob, I'm keeping Delroy, and I'm keeping Stellan. But I'm swapping Sean Penn out for another surprising snub, Paul Mescal from Hamnet. There was one tweet that I saw. They were like, imagine being told the entire year that you're going to get nominated for an Oscar and then you just don't. like he was. I thought.
Mhm.
Sean Penn and Stellan, I think, have been the biggest front runners for this award. But Paul Mescal, I thought, was like low key right there. He did, and it was because Hamnet had so much momentum.
I don't know what happened with that.
But I think he's amazing in that movie. I mean, as much as I love that movie and I love Jesse Buckley in that movie, I really do think it's her movie, but the scenes with the two of them, it feels like it's a two-hander, like just because of like how strong I think both of their performances are,
Mhm.
and especially in scenes with each other. But yeah, so those are my personal five. What are your personal five?
Yeah, I think my personal 5, I'd keep Elordi, and I'd
Hmm.
keep Sean Penn, and I keep
Hmm.
Benicio, I think, and then I'd swap out the other 2, one for, Muhammad Ali Elyasmer? I don't know how to
Oh,
pronounce his
okay,
last name, but,
okay,
from It Was
okay.
Just an
Yes, yes,
Accident.
yes.
He's the guy who's
Yeah.
wearing the blue shirt, and It Was Just an Accident.
Is he the one that gives the monologue in the third act?
He's the one that gives a monologue when they're, like, out in the van, and he's, like, talking about how, like,
Okay,
they should
all
let the
right,
guy.
fair. Yes. Hmm.
He's fantastic in that movie. Like,
Hmm.
could not believe how good he was. And then my other pick, to throw in there, is Adam Sandler and Jay Kelly, who I thought was
Yeah.
so good in that movie, and, like, it plays the
Hmm.
sadness of it really well in a way that I feel like we haven't really seen Sandler tap into, like,
Yeah.
drama Sandler, because I think he's still kinda giving, like, a really
Yeah.
showy
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
performance in
For sure.
Uncut Gems. Like, this was not, like, Sandler showboating. This is him, like, actually being a human being.
Yeah. No weird voices.
So I thought he was great in Jay Kelly. So he'd be my other pick to
Fair.
throw in. Also, actually, you know what? I'm fuck it. I'm also gonna take out Sean Penn, and I'm gonna throw in Miles Caton for Sinners.
I was between keeping Miles Caton or Delroy Lindo. I just love Delroy Lindo so much. That's why I threw him in. But no, yeah, I would have loved to see one of the young performers from this year get some. I mean, Chase didn't get nominated. She probably would have been the closest. But like Jacoby Jupe from Hamnet, Miles Caton from Sinners, and then Chase, I think those performances could have had just as much of a fighting chance in these categories with these grown people. But no, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's get into some of the below the line ones so we can kind of clip through. Yes, let's start with visual effects. Nominees are Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1,
Avatar.
Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm sorry. It's just so funny. It's just so funny.
Certainly had a lot of effect.
Listen, it reminds me of when like Marvel movies used to get nominated for this award. Like it's like, why does Avengers: Age of Ultron have a Oscar nomination?
I think the funnier one is the next one on this
The
list.
Lost Bus, the Apple TV Plus movie produced by Jamie Lee Curtis, starring Matthew McConaughey and America Ferrera. That Mad Libs ass movie. And Sinners. What do we think is taking?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I think The Lost Bus sounds like a movie that you'd hear like in 30 Rock. Like
I think most of these movies sound like 30 Rock.
but specifically The Lost Bus sounds like a movie where like Jenna Maroney would get offered to play the bus.
You're right. You're not far off. I haven't seen The Lost Bus, so I can't. The visual effects might be stunning in that.
They might be. They might be great, but Avatar's it's like there's
It's the visual
it
effects
is
movie.
the
Yeah, I
visual
think
effect.
this is, if there's anything I'll give Avatar, I'll give it to this one. As far as should win, I'd give it to Avatar 2. I guess Avatar 4, 3, third, 3 is the third one. Oh my god. But as well.
Here's the thing: the movies are so long, we should be on 4, but
But okay, so will win and should win both Avatar, Fire and Ash. I think we agree on that. Next award is Achievement in Sound.
yeah, agreed.
It's been merged for a couple years, but it used to be 2 different awards. Now it's just one. The nominees are F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat. I think F1 might take this one if F1's gonna win anything. But my should win. Have you seen Sirat?
I haven't. I have plans to see. I've been getting texts while we've been watching, like, or recording this pod.
Sirat, I watched the screener over break because I got it in the Neon book. That movie's crazy. It's like it doesn't get crazy until about
Mhm.
halfway through. Like it's actually pretty like still and calm for like the first half, and then something happens, and then it just turns into like the most tense movie. Actually, think it's really good, but the sound design in it particularly is amazing because you know it's about like this rave in the desert, and so it's like the score is just like
Mhm.
kind of not like blaring, but it's just like it's a very interesting sonic experience for sure. And so I think I would personally give the sound win to that, but I think F1 is going to take it.
Yeah, I think F1 will win because it has the most sound. It's the loudest movie.
Mhm.
Of the 4 here that I've seen, my
Mhm.
should win is actually Sinners for this, because I think that music and the
Mm.
soundscape of that
Mhm.
film plays such an important part in establishing the tone and the setting and everything about it. Like, there is no Sinners without the sound design
That's
of
fair.
that
That's
movie.
fair. That's fair. I think I apply that reasoning to like why I have it winning like for song and score, but we'll get to that.
Mhm.
For production design, we have Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners.
I have a strong will win, should win on this. I think will win, it's gonna be Frankenstein because, again, it has the most production design. Everything in that movie
Hmm.
looks really good.
Yeah.
The ship, the town, like, all that, it looks great.
Uh
It
huh.
has a very distinct visual style. Should win without a
Yeah.
doubt for me is Hamnet. There is no world in which you recreate the Globe Theater and you shouldn't win the Oscar for
Yeah,
production
yeah, yeah.
design.
That's kind of I'm kind of on the same boat with that. I do I'm kind of between though because I think as far as will win, I see what you're saying with Frankenstein and I partly agree, but I also think as far as what you're saying about Hamnet, like I think the production design voters at least have like a little bit more sense um, than like some of the other branches. So I feel like the
Yeah.
Whirlwind is between Frankenstein and Hamnet. Honestly, like I could see Hamnet taking it over Frankenstein. Frankenstein, I think, is the more obvious choice. But and I mean, and I wouldn't. I would be so happy if Hamnet won. I wouldn't be mad though if Frankenstein won either. I was going to continue that to say that my should win is also between those two movies. You know, love Marty Supreme, One Battle, and Sinners. Love them all.
Mhm.
And actually, as far as those three movies, I think I'd probably give production design to Marty Supreme. Oh yeah, because Jack Fisk. But I think that Frankenstein and
Mhm.
also Guillermo del Toro is very well loved and appreciated in production design realms and rooms. So I see,
Yeah.
but you know, again, I'm not mad at that. So my will win and should win are both between Frankenstein and Hamnet. I'm having a hard time picking, but I can see the voters having a
Mm.
hard time picking too. Okay, let's
Yeah.
do makeup and hairstyling, which there's one nomination. This is just like felt very here damn. Frankenstein, Kokuho, which is Japan's submission for the Oscars, which I have not seen, but I saw a movie last night and there's a trailer for it that played in front of it. It seems very like Farewell My Concubine. But like, you know, more modern day, it seems very interesting. Sinners, The Smashing Machine, which feels very here damn. And The Ugly Stepsister, which I did not see, but I
Mhm.
think it was at Sundance maybe earlier this year, and I was hearing about it a little bit, but I know that one's more like body horror kind
Thanks.
of.
But so what if Cinderella was, like, edgy and, like,
Right.
kinda cool
Right.
and was bloody?
I think as far as the will win, honestly, even though it felt very here damn, I think Smashing Machine might take this award. And here's my reasoning. Outside of it, you know, like obviously, like, you know, The Rock didn't make it in. And I enjoyed Smashing Machine. Check out my interviews with Baz Rutten and Mark Kerr from, you know, back in October, I think that was. But because I did those interviews, right? I've gotten so many like emails from A24 regarding screenings and events for the Smashing Machine. Almost every event they've been having in LA has been with The Rock and Kazuhiro, the guy who did the prosthetics on this movie. They have been like pushing the makeup
Mhm.
team for this movie so hard, like so unbelievably hard. A24 has, and that's really the only thing that they've been putting that much momentum for as far as this movie, because I think they kind of realized once The Rock kind of missed out on earlier like guild stuff that they kind of, you know, and Emily Blunt as well. They kind of like moved and set their sights kind of on something different. Um, but I think just because that I will say
Mhm.
Kazuhiro is the only name on this that I immediately recognize as like, you know, a makeup person that's been associated with any of these movies. This is no shade to anybody else in these movies. Your work is amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, I just think again, the Oscars voters vote by, you know, name and face recognition. And so if we're thinking about what is going to take it, I think Smashing Machine might take it. As far as should, for me, I might say Frankenstein. And part of me feels like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think Will win Smashing Machine. I agree with that. It's their way of awarding The Rock's performance because that entire like makeup and
Yeah.
styling like completely does transform Dwayne. Um, should win. Yeah, I'll also say Frankenstein. I think we agree on that.
Okay.
Will
All
win
right.
Smashing
Fair,
Machine. Should
fair,
win
fair.
Frankenstein.
Okay. Film editing. We have F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. What are your thoughts?
Another like fairly win for me. It's a will
Mm,
win, should win for one battle. I think no question. It makes a 2 hour and 40 minute movie feel like 90 minutes, and the way that the final like
mm-hmm,
sequence on the road is edited, I think alone is gonna put it over the edge and should put
fair,
it over the
fair.
edge.
I will say I agree that it will win. I partly agree that it should win, but I would split my should win between that and Marty Supreme. I am a big fan of the Safdie slash Bronstein editing style. And it just makes those movies so fun to me. And so I really enjoyed the editing on Marty Supreme. But as far as
Yeah.
will win, I think you're right. One battle is gonna take it.
I think my thing with Marty Supreme is that the editing didn't feel like quite as kinetic for me as it did
Mm.
in
Was it just
previous
because it
Safdie
was longer,
films.
you think?
No, because I don't think it was that much longer than Uncut Gems. It just like it didn't feel like it had the same like drive and like pace or
Mm,
way of like ramping up tension that I feel like the editing of
mm,
Uncut Gems, for example, did. Like there were like many scenes like in the middle of that movie where I was just like along for the ride rather than like leaning forward in my seat like, oh
mm,
my god, I'm so stressed what's gonna happen
okay.
next
That's
to
fair.
to
That's fair.
Marty.
I think I was kind of edging my seat a lot of the time, but I think that we just probably had different experiences with that regard, and that's fine.
Yeah, maybe we need to see it again. We'll see. Maybe I'm gonna go back and see it and be like, oh, it's so wrong.
Okay, let's do best international feature. I've seen 4 or 5 of these. I've been really trying to see The Voice of
Ooh.
Hinder Job, because it's playing in like a small number of theaters. But the nominees are The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Surat, and The Voice of Hind Rajab. I so of the 4 that I've seen, it's so interesting. It Was Just an Accident, Surat, and Sentimental Value are literally like all like right next to each other on my like best of year list. Like they're literally all right next to each other. So I kind of feel somewhat similarly about all of them, or at least like, you know, my emotions about all of them kind of amount to the same thing for each of them. But if I had to pick one
Mhm.
as my favorite, or I'd look at it as the most like consequential, I'd say It Was Just an Accident. I know that it won the Palme d'Or, so like, you know, it already has like a level of recognition. But I just think as far as what the films mean, that one is the most unique this year. The Secret Agent just feels like I'm Still Here if it had more violence in it. No shade. No shade to either movie, but it literally, I
Mhm.
was like, this is just like if like Tarantino made I'm Still Here. And then we talked about sentimental value, and I also mentioned Surat and how Surat is really good. I think Surat would be my next choice, regardless
Yeah.
of how felt as far as the secret agent being connected to I'm Still Here. I also just didn't connect to it that much. Like I thought it was fine. So still have to see Voice of Job. My opinion might change once I
Yeah,
do,
agreed.
but as of right now, I think that at least as far as my should win, I'd say it was just an accident. I do think the secret agent might take it.
So right now, my
Mm.
will win is sentimental value, and I think that Joachim getting in for
Yeah.
director is what put that over the edge. Had Jafar Panahi gotten into director, I think I would have
Yeah.
put it was just an accident over, or had like Secret Agent like overperformed. Like it had a did Secret Agent get a screenplay
No.
nomination? No, it didn't. Had like had Secret Agent gotten into screenplay or director, or if Panahe had gotten into
Mm-hmm.
director, I would have given it to one of the others. But because I think Sentimental Value overperformed, especially like given
Mm-hmm.
where people thought it might land before this, I do think
Mm-hmm.
Sentimental Values are will win. I think for should win,
Mm-hmm.
it was just an accident
Yeah.
for me. I am shocked that it was just an accident
Honestly,
missed
me
picture.
too.
Like that's still one of
Yeah,
the
I would
biggest.
have expected that to make it in at least over like Secret Agent if we're looking at just like the international film nominees or
or
F1.
or
Yeah,
F1.
again, I was looking at the international films that they nominated, but I yeah. Considering F1 for sure. But okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's do cinematography. Okay. Which there's another snub in here that I'm like very mad at personally. But we've got Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Okay. My will win, should win is gonna be Sinners, I think, for both of them.
My will win should win is Train Dreams.
What I
Mhm.
will say, as far as what I thought was going to be nominated here, Hamnet not being here, very, very surprising to me. Also, considering that Lucas
Yeah,
Zhao
yeah,
is like pretty
surprising.
popular with cinematographers and like this guild. And also considering that like one of
Uh-huh.
people's main issues of Frankenstein, and one of the things that I do agreed with, is that the cinematography is pretty lazy. And
It was
so
not great.
that was something that I was, and another thing that I didn't notice immediately. Like I had to like go back through and be like, wait, Hamlet's not here.
The one movie where I'm like, I wish this had gotten into cinematography, even though I think it was a long shot, was 28 Years Later. Looked
I noticed
damn good for
it
being
was
shot on
shot
an
on like
iPhone.
maybe 35 different iPhones. Um like yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah, they had
it
the
was
whole
shot
iPhone
on like a
that looked
shit ton of
awesome.
iPhones, so you can't just make 28 years later on your phone just like that. But still though, I see that.
Literally, like the scene where Spike and his dad are running like
Mhm.
across the water as they're being chased by the zombie, and like with like the Northern Lights and everything, like that for me alone is
Mm,
like best cinematography
fair,
I've seen this
fair.
year.
I will also agree with you on the Train Dreams. I think Train Dreams is a gorgeous looking film. Especially if you've seen it like on film, like on
Mhm.
35. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
it's
saw it
very
on
good.
35
Out
in
on
New Orleans.
35.
Very kind of random, but really enjoyed it. Um, okay, costume design. There's another, Avatar is surprising, but nominations are Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. What's your will win, should win for this one?
Will win. Oof, this is a tough one. I think will win right now is
Mm,
probably Hamnet, and
mm-hmm,
should win is
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sinners.
Um, I will say that I agree. I love Ruth Carter. I love Ruth Carter. I always think that she should win an award, anything that she's nominated for. Also, another record
Mhm.
broken by her with her nomination for this movie. If I remember correctly, this is her 5th nomination, which I believe makes her the most nominated Black woman at the Oscars ever for like across like any award, which is it's so legendary. Also, you know, like crazy that 5
It's a
is the
crazy
most, but
Yeah, like, this is our
right.
barrier, apparently.
And I mean, there's a lot of um there's films that she's did. Dolomite Is My Name is the first one and most obvious one that I can think of where she should have won, but you know, wasn't even nominated. Um, but so I'd have Sinners as my should
Yeah,
win for
agreed.
that, but I don't know that her costume work in Sinners is, I guess, flashy enough for people to notice how good it is. Um,
Yeah,
and so because
that's
of
my thought.
that, I do think that I think Hamnet might take it as well. Hamnet or Frankenstein. Because again, Del Toro does very well with craft awards.
Yeah, again, like, Frankenstein's got all it's
Yeah.
got a lot of costuming in it, but I do think the Hamnet costuming is
Yeah.
gonna eke
Hopefully.
it out
I would prefer if
between the
Hamnet
2.
won that over Frankenstein as far as those two. But I just again, Del Toro just does so
Mhm.
well with craft awards. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like lest we forget The Shape of Water. Um, you know, and Nightmare Alley. Also shout out
No
to
Pinocchio.
the DP for Sinners, Autumn Arkapaw. Is that how you pronounce her last name? I believe Autumn Donald Arkapaw. She's the first woman of color to be nominated for best cinematography, which, you know, period.
Again, a crazy stat for our 98th Oscars. We have our first woman of color nominated
Exactly.
for
The
cinematography.
first woman period was in 2018. It was Rachel Morrison. And
Mhm.
also it being, I think she's the
Yes, this is the most
first female DP or the first female DP of color to shoot on IMAX film, which is another random statistic, but
yeah.
also just another kind of, you know, feather in the cap for Sinners. Let's do our music ones. Let's look at score and song. We'll look at score first. The nominees are Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. This is where things get dicey.
This is a
It's
tough
so
category.
hard. This was a really good score year.
All 5 of these could win in any other year.
I was a big fan of the Marty Supreme score. I also, as far as the other Safdie movie,
Mhm.
I'll give it a shout out. I thought the score for The Smashing Machine was great. Sinners, I think, is going to take it, and Sinners is ultimately what I do think should win. Ludwig is just like a next level like master. Um, but like the journey that I had with the One Battle After Another score, like every time that I've seen that movie, the way that that score drives a story and like, oh my, in such an evocative way, I love. I do think it's one of PTA's best scores. I love the score from Hamnet. Like I said, that movie just makes me cry. Alexandre Desplat obviously is, you know, a legend, and all of his scores for Del Toro's movies I think are great.
And, like, the Frankenstein score in particular was
Yes,
so
yeah,
good.
no, and then the score for
Um,
Begonia is so
yeah.
so
So
striking.
is there
So yeah, this one's a hard one, but like I said, I
yeah.
think Sinners is ultimately my will win should.
I think my will win is One Battle After Another just because I think Johnny Greenwood has the
Mm.
overdue narrative, or as overdue a narrative as you can have being Johnny Greenwood. Like, I mean, he should have won for Phantom Thread in
Yeah.
2017, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
I think my will win is One Battle, and my should win is
Mm.
probably
Yeah.
Sinners.
Fair.
Just because, again, music's such an important part of Sinners, and all of the music in
No,
Sinners
yeah.
is
That's why I
so
said earlier when you
good.
were talking about the sound design. That's what I feel about specifically the score of the film. I think the score is what is everything about that movie makes that movie, but the score is like you said is just such an important part.
It is a character in the movie.
That's exactly right. But okay, all right, and then original song, which I just have to laugh because Diane Warren is gonna be at the Oscars whether she likes it or not.
Diane Warren from the top rope just absolutely
Like,
destroying
oh my
Wicked.
god, like Diane Warren literally just took out Steven
Like,
Schwartz. like
Pile drive
like completely,
short.
because how
Pile drive.
she ended up with an original
Absolutely done.
song nomination
Finish.
from a documentary about her, no less, is I just feel like
Yeah.
that's layers of crazy.
Like, Stephen Schwartz, you're finished. Also, Queen of Versailles sucked.
Oh my god. The original song nominees are Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi, which I've not heard of, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Um what is your will win should win? I think we probably have the same two.
Will win Golden, should win I Lied to You.
Golden is just the popular song. I mean, and Golden is a great song, I have to say.
That's the easiest like split of like this is
Right.
absolutely going to win the Oscar, and
Yeah,
this
I don't think
absolutely
anybody disagrees that like the song from Sinners is like way more impactful, way more important, like way just more consequential to like just society in general. But
Yeah,
you know,
but
right,
I
it's
have not been
catchy.
able to get
We're
through that.
going up, it's on like listen, I know all the words. Like I'm like I do know all the words. It's the shallow effect, you know.
Mhm. But I'm not even like the past like 3 days when I've just been like walking around my apartment, like doing like nothing. I'll just like find myself just going like, no more hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be.
I will say the music in K-pop Demon Hunters is great. And this is coming from somebody that's not a huge K-pop enjoyer. Like I typically have not been.
Yeah.
But and I watched that movie very late actually. I didn't see it until probably like right before Christmas. But like I remember I watched
Yeah,
it
I didn't either.
with my brother who's older than me, not by a ton, but you know, a year and a half. He was like singing all the songs and he was like just interjecting about so many things about the movie. I was like, how many times have you seen this movie? My older brother has seen this movie 4 times. He has watched K-pop Demon Hunters 4 times and knows
4
all of the
times?
songs word for word, has a favorite member of the group. Like I'm like, what has this movie done? Like it's oh my goodness. I mean, my brother's into music, so it makes a little bit more sense, but it's still I was so gagged when I found that out. But so, you know, I mean, it's a fun movie, it's a cute movie. The music is good. I'm not mad that it got nominated, and I'm
Mhm.
honestly not crazy mad that it's gonna win either, because again, I do like the song. I'm mad that it's gonna win at the sacrifice of I
Yeah,
Lied to You losing, because I just think that moment, as far as a moment in a film from this year, from the last
'cause that's
5 years,
a
I don't
much
think
better
has
song.
been topped. But at least for me, because I cried the first time I saw that scene in the theater. I didn't cry when I heard Golden the first time,
Yeah. I didn't, but, you know, like
but you know, so shout out to Golden, shout out to I Lied to You, but I think yeah, Golden's gonna take it, but I Lied to You should.
no. 2 very good songs that, like again, if we could have a tie, that would be great.
Maybe. On that same note, one can hope. On that
One
same
can
note,
hope.
let's look at best animated feature. We have Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Will win. I think K-pop Demon Hunters is going to take it, just because of how popular it is. My should win though. This is going to sound crazy. My should win is going to be between Arco and Zootopia 2. Hear me out. Hear me out. Randomly loved Zootopia 2. Like I listen, I love the first one. Like the first one I think is so good. Celine's song is so right. I was like not excited for the second one at all. Like I was like, this is about to give Disney Plus like movie. I was like ready for like Moana 2, you know? Like I was ready to be like as disappointed and as mad at that movie as I
Yeah.
was. I have seen Zootopia 2 3 times. And
3?
I've seen Zootopia 2 3 times. And I won't say I've liked it more each time, but definitely the second time I liked it more than the first time. I think I've kind of plateaued after the second time, but I think Zootopia 2 is really good. I think it's really funny. I think it's like does great world building. It expands the world of Zootopia in a really fun way. I think its message is a bit clearer than the first one, or at least it's not as
Mhm.
I think kids are gonna respond to it well. I think working with children like in the last few months also has made me more um amenable to
It attunes you, yeah.
yeah, Zootopia 2's is for the kids. You know, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters I think is another one that's just like, you know, something cute for the kids. But as far as
Mhm.
movies in this category that I have seen that I would vote for, I would say
Yeah.
Zootopia 2 or Arco. Arco's great. It's a neon film. It's French, but it's like in the style of anime almost, but it's like about, you
Mhm.
know, this little boy in the future and he can like his family turns into rainbows. Really cute. I haven't seen Little Amelie. I saw that
Yeah.
it's on the Letterboxd video store, so I look he might rent it to watch that. But what's your will win should win for this category?
Will win, K-pop Demon Hunters should win, probably also K-pop Demon Hunters. Even though actually I did like Elio. It was good. I didn't hate Elio, but just in terms of like a cultural just in terms of what a cultural moment K-pop Demon Hunters is and has been, I think it also deserves the win for that.
Let's so I haven't seen any of the short films from this year. That's usually where my biggest blind spot is.
I haven't either.
We'll go through the nominations.
I haven't seen any of the shorts. I haven't seen any of the docs either.
I haven't yet either. I've been meaning to watch The Perfect Neighbor because I've heard that that's really good. And there were a few that
Me
I
too.
remember hearing about at Sundance, but I just didn't get a chance to see yet. But I will read through all of these nominations for these categories, and then we'll
Mhm.
get to our last few. For Best Documentary Feature, we have The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. For Best Documentary Short, we have All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly a Strangeness. For Best Live Action Short, we have Butcher's Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. That is all for the categories that we are unfamiliar with. Our last one I want to get into before we get into our last four big ones is our new award this year for achievement in casting. This is the first year that they've ever had this award at the Oscars, as they should. They're going to be introducing a stunt one, which I thought was going to be this year, but is that one coming in like a couple years?
I think it's coming in a couple of years. To be honest, I think it's really funny that they did this the year that we got Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. It's like
Right,
no stunt
right.
award for you, Tom Cruise.
The nominees for our first achievement in casting Oscar
Mhm.
are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. Also, should note 4 out of 5 of these nominees are women. Period. Fuck men. My winner.
And we here on the podcast believe that firmly.
Yes, yes. To our core.
Me and Andrew, fuck men.
To our core. My personal will win. Okay, okay, okay. It's easier for me to do should win first. My should win is Sinners. I think that the cast of Sinners is just stunning. Every performance is just so striking and so good. As far as what I think okay, hold on. I'll split my should win with Sinners and Marty Supreme because I love that I'm saying the Safdies, but it's just Josh now, which makes me believe that all the decisions with the other three movies that are exactly like this one were made by Josh. Um, but I love how they cast by personality. In that, like, you know, you have Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank,
Mhm.
Tyler the Creator, Gwyneth Paltrow and like fucking Penn from Penn and Teller all in the same movie, and they all are like almost completely hidden in their roles. Like, it's crazy. And so I think that alone is
Yeah.
remarkable, and that I would be fine with that one winning. But like I said, I do just love the cast of Sinners so much. As far as what I think will win, I think it's going to be between Sinners and One Battle After Another. You can check my Letterboxd and see there's a review of One Battle that I left where I said One Battle is the best performed movie of the year. I don't know that I would stick to that now. I would have at the time, but I don't think it's far-fetched to say that I think most of the Academy thinks that One Battle After Another is the most well-performed movie of the year, especially considering this category, because Sentimental Value is not in here, but it's the only other movie with double nominations in the category, when an acting category specifically. I mean, that's the only one you can get double nominations.
Yeah.
You can get double nominations in songs, but regardless. So I'd say my should win is between Sinners and Marty Supreme,
Agreed.
and then my will win is between One Battle After Another and Sinners. What is yours?
My will win is Sinners. I think because Francie Maisler did win a casting Oscar, and I actually think that SAG Ensemble is going to be the one that really decides casting Oscar. So I do think Sinners is going to win, and I think Sinners is going to win Actor Awards Ensemble. My should win is Hamnet, though. I think if you cast Jacoby Jupe, you should win an Oscar.
Very, very fair. And cast his brother and have them like play each other, but in
Like-
oh my god, that movie. Oh my god, I love it so much.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant piece of casting. Like I think that's my should win is Hamnet.
That's real. That's fair. And I see that. Our last few, we've got our writing awards, and we've got director, and we've got picture. All of these awards we have our own personal nominees for, so we're getting back to the OTR-scars. All right. We're going to start with our screenplay awards. All right. And we're going to start, we'll go alphabetical. We'll start with adapted. The nominees for best adapted screenplay are Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. My will win for this category is One Battle After Another, just because PTA I think has the overdue thing going for him. But my should win for adapted screenplay as far as these movies is going to be split between Bugonia and Hamnet. I think leaning towards Bugonia. I am just a huge fan of any kind of satire. And I think Bugonia is so smart and so shocking in so many ways. I would love to see that screenplay get recognition. But I also just love the way that Hamnet is written. It's so tender. I think that the direction of Hamnet is a bit more striking than the screenplay. And so I think that part of is why I'd edge towards Bugonia. But they're both such strong screenplays for real. And so, you know, I would, those would kind of be what I'd split my should win between. I mean, I also love the script for One Battle After Another, but I just think Bugonia and Hamnet specifically are, as far as scripts go, like next level.
My will win and should win is One Battle. Not only because I think it's a great screenplay, but because I actually do think it is really cool what it does take from Thomas Pynchon's Vineland, which is like such a good book. Pynchon's a really hard person to adapt, and it's a hard person to adapt well. Even PTA wasn't really able to adapt it amazingly in Inherent Vice, but I think this is like the better adaptation because he's allowed to take like more of his own personal like self and put it into this. So One Battle is my will win and my should win, but I would also be more than happy with Begonia winning screenplay too.
What are your OTR-scars nominations for adapted screenplay?
My OTR-scars nominations for this one are One Battle, Begonia, 28 Years Later, No Other Choice, and Kiss of the Spider Woman.
We somewhat agree in some places. I have Bugonia, One Battle After Another, and Hamnet. Those are my three that I'm keeping from the original nominees. You didn't have Hamnet, but I also have No Other Choice. And I have Wake Up Dead Man, just because I'm like the Oscars didn't do it. So, I got to do it. Let's look at original screenplay. The nominees are Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. My will win and should win for this category is Sinners. I think it would be like a trap. Like, I think people would riot if Ryan Coogler didn't win this Oscar. Like,
All right, Cooper doesn't win this Oscar, and I'm not even the biggest
like
Sinners fan, but like if there's any award it deserves, it's fucking
I said on
Screenplay.
my last podcast, when I was talking about Sinners being my favorite movie of the year, I said that it not only cemented him as Coogler as one of my favorite directors, but as one of my favorite writers, because like to be able to balance all of these different kinds of
Mhm.
characters, all these different kinds of stories, all these different tones, and it all feels so seamless too. Like, you have a movie that starts off as a family drama and turns into like a vampire, like, like folk mystical kind of like horror movie. And it's like, in order for that to happen
Mhm.
so seamlessly, and also to not feel like, overstuffed, or like it's missing anything, or that there's like too many plot holes, like everything about it just had so much care in it. And also I just think it's just so fucking cool. Like, it would be so fucking cool if this movie won screenplay.
I think that's my will win as well. I'd be really happy with the
Uh-huh.
Sinners win. My should win is Blue Moon because
Yeah,
I think that the screenplay in that movie is
fair.
brilliant. I think that it's like it is such a again as somebody who like loves golden age musicals and who loves that like specific sort of like
Hmm.
setting of like Sardi's bar of like this is New York in the 40s. This is what it all like feels like and
Hmm.
looks like and how people talk and what people are talking about. Like again, like Linklater's always been good at like
Hmm.
the hangout movie of like
Yeah.
letting the dialogue speak for itself. But again, as I said, like the dialogue in this movie is great, but what I love about the movie is how cinematic
Hmm.
in form it feels compared to other movies that might not care as much about like
Hmm.
pace and editing and like
Hmm.
intonation and what people are saying and how they're saying it and how the story progresses through these character arcs and how it starts versus how it ends and like letting us know the beginning and have this knowledge going forward for the rest of the film. I think that there's so much
Mm.
good about this
No, yeah.
screenplay.
That is very fair. That is very, very fair.
Our
Yes.
OTR-scars. Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Sorry Baby,
Hmm.
Testament of Anne Lee, and Eddington.
I knew it.
Those
I
are my
knew,
5.
I knew it was gonna be something like that. Oh my god. Okay. 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 Fair. 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 I almost had Testament of Van Lee in mind for this. I have it showing up in other places. We'll get there.
And I very almost put Roofman in as well. Talk about a movie that got snubbed and got overlooked for everything this award season. Roofman's the kind of movie that would have like cleaned up the Oscars in 1997.
I don't think I was as strong on Roofman as everybody else was. I was like, this is fine, this is cute, but it didn't feel like they were gunning for Oscars for me. It just felt like they were gunning for something to do moderately well. My nominees for the OTR-scars for original screenplay, we have Sinners, we have Marty Supreme, we have Twinless, we have Sorry Baby, and we have Pillion. Twinless specifically, I just love Twinless so much, and I think it's mostly due to the screenplay. I think that movie's so funny. I think it's also really well performed. But I just love those two characters. And I just love their relationship.
Yeah. Twinless is probably like the most me coded movie I haven't seen.
You should see Twinless, because when I tell you, I saw that movie and it was an immediate 5-star watch, and there weren't many immediate 5-star movies that I saw this year,
Mhm.
but I was like, it's same for me. Like, it's a very me coded movie. But I did see it. But no, yeah, I was just like, this is almost me in a movie, which is kind of, considering the context of the movie, is like a little crazy, but it's just, if you get it, you get it. And I think you'll get it if you see it. But okay, our last two, second
Yeah.
to last, best director. Our nominees are Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joaquin Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Who is your will win should win for this award?
PTA and both.
Fair, fair. That's so. Earlier, I had said, or when we were talking about screenplay, I had mentioned that the overdue narrative is gonna work for him. I think that's what's gonna work for him in this category specifically. I think Paul Thomas Anderson is going to win this award. I think that Ryan Coogler should win. Or I'm between Coogler and Zhao. I would edge toward Coogler just because, again, love Sinner so much. Imagine Josh Safdie won. That would be crazy. I feel like like what? Like Josh Safdie? Like what? It's like Sean Baker winning last year. Be like, what? Sean Baker has a directing Oscar, but no. So I think PTA is overdue for a directing award because he's never won anything. Like not even no screenplay, no. I guess it would have only been producing or
Nope.
directing.
Lot. He's never won. He's winning this year.
As far as the OTR-scars,
No, I want to hear your five first. I have a fuck shit crazy one for director, so I want to
you
hear
have a
yours
fuck shit
first.
crazy one. Okay, all right, we'll go through mine first then. I'm keeping most of them. I'm keeping Coogler. I'm keeping
Yeah.
Zhao. I'm keeping Safdie. I'm keeping PTA. Um, but I'm taking out Trier, no shade, and I'm throwing in Mona Fastfold for the Testament of Anne Lee. That's where my Anne Lee love comes in. You threw her in screenplay. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
the way that movie's assembled, bitch. I'm like that belongs to her. I like I'm one of those people that I like Anne Lee more than The Brutalist. And I honestly think as far as like direction goes, it's more striking to me than The Brutalist. I know you might feel differently. I know you love The Brutalist.
Oh no 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 no! I loved the Brutalist, but Anne Lee fucking stomps on Laszlo Toth.
So I think that I think of anywhere, lead actress and director, I think are where Anne Lee needs the most recognition, and so that's why I'm throwing in Fastfold in my five. Who you're? I want to hear your fuck shit crazy.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm keeping Paul Thomas
Okay.
Anderson and I'm keeping Ryan Coogler. Throwing in Mona Fosvold
Hmm.
for Testament of Anne Lee. I'm also gonna throw in Jafar
Hmm.
Panahi for It Was Just an
Yeah.
Accident because I think that movie is insanely well directed. And then I think this has genuinely been an oversight the entire award season, and I don't know how no one has been like, we have to give this nomination. Christopher McQuarrie for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Listen, I'm aware that a lot of people didn't like Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, but a lot of people are wrong. It is the full apex of what that franchise has been
Hmm.
building to for 30 years. It is so off the wall. It is so crazy, but it's so slick and the action is so good and it looks so good. Everything about the direction of that movie and the way that it's like cut together and the way that McQuarrie like builds the script around the sequences, I think it is
Hmm.
brilliant direction. I think the biplane sequence is the best directed thing I've seen maybe ever. I think it is a shame and a travesty that McQuarrie has not been in any conversations for director because I think he absolutely deserves to be nominated and maybe win. Specifically for this movie though, because like again, he has helmed the back half of the Mission Impossible franchise. Some would say the better half
Hmm.
for 10 years. Like he has dictated the tone of what not only Mission Impossible, but what a lot of modern action movies that aren't like cape shit
Hmm.
look like. Like people like are emulating like Naked Gun this year was an entire emulation of Mission Impossible Fallout down to getting Lauren Balfe to do the score. Like he
Hmm.
has influenced what action and action direction looks like and I think he should have been recognized for that.
Mm, mm. That is a very strong case. I don't know that I'm nominating him still, but listen, you made the fuck out of that argument, okay?
no one who knows me would be surprised by this. I doubt you're very
I'm not
surprised by
that
this choice, to
surprised.
be honest.
It's just funny that like you were like
Yeah.
I'm dying on this hill. It seems like you're dying on the hill, which I mean, period.
I am dying. I'm dying on the hill that he should have been nominated and should have won. That's the hill I'm dying on.
Okay, go you. I'm sure it's lonely up there. Our last, the big award, last and certainly not least, it's last, but it's the most. Best Picture. Okay, our nominees are. I'm trying to get through this without laughing. Begonia.
Immediately couldn't get through it, and I like because are we for real? Because are we dead ass? Are we actually dead ass that F1 is a Best Picture nominee?
This is just hilarious to me. Like I think probably the whole F1 team probably felt like that one like gif of Javier Bardem from it, like with the fireworks going off. He's like, what the fuck? Like, because I part of me kind of gets it because it's a producers award, and the producing team that did F1 did Top Gun Maverick, and Top Gun Maverick got a Best Picture nomination, and so maybe they're just friends with everybody. Maybe Joseph Kosinski is just like, a secret fave in the producers like realm that we just don't know about.
Mhm.
But F1's not bad, but like F1 is like, are we serious? Are we serious? It's
Like,
literally
are
Top
we
Gun
dead
with cars. I'm like, just watch Top Gun again. Like, oh my goodness. But anyway, okay. So Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. What is your will win, should win? And if you need to narrow it down to 3, or if you can only narrow it down to 3, then that's fine.
No, it's one battle.
Yeah,
It's one battle after another for both.
Winning, which is unfortunate for Sinners, but the Academy is still mostly white. So if they're gonna take the black movie about black people or the white movie about black people, I think they're gonna take the white movie about black people. They're gonna take the white movie about black people. I mean, and again, I like One Battle. I've liked it less over time, but I do think it would just be almost irresponsible to act like it's not gonna win.
Yeah, it's gonna win, even though like the 16 nominations for Sinners does speak volumes, and I think the fact that it overperformed at the Oscars does actually speak to its case. And I think if Warner decided like, hey, we could really make a push for Sinners, they'd do it.
They're still really playing both
think
sides with it though, because it's like every time they do something for Sinners, they do the same shit for One Battle. Like it's like they're putting both of them back into, like, every time they re-release them in theaters, which also it's been like 3 times by now for both of them, which is kind of crazy. But like they always put both of them. Like it's like Sinners is coming back into theaters this weekend, and so is One Battle, and it's like. It's like, obviously I get like you don't want to pick a favorite child, but like both of them can't win. I'm like, you have one. You have one. It's your older one. But like if Sinners wins Best Picture, I will probably be in tears in front of that TV. And I would love for that to be the case. But no, yeah. So One Battle is likely going to take it. I mean, and even you can go back on my podcast when I was talking about the Smashing Machine with Ethan, and that was right after One Battle had come out, and I think we both had said, we were like, this movie's probably going to win Best Picture. Like at the time we were like, if the Oscars were tomorrow, it's going to win Best Picture. But it's like it's tomorrow, and I'm like, I think One Battle is going to win. But again, Sinners is my baby, and I would love to see Sinners win. And Sinners, I think, is choice number 2 for most people. So the only thing I could see making a surprise out of those 2 would be like Hamnet, because like like it winning the Golden Globe was like kind of like what happened, like not what happened there. Like I love Hamnet, but like that was kind of out of nowhere.
It's a 3-horse race,
and I mean, and those 3, if I had to pick like 3 for my will win and should win, Those three are definitely my will win, and my should win would be like Sinners and Hamnet, and then like Marty Spring. But One Battle would probably be like right under like those. The OTR-scars is our last thing before we close out this episode. What are your nominees for the OTR-scars?
Here are my 10.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Moon,
Uh-huh.
Begonia,
Okay.
Eddington, It Was Just an Accident,
Okay.
Kiss of the Spider
Yes.
Woman, No Other Choice,
Fair.
One Battle After Another,
Uh-huh.
Sentimental Value, Sinners,
Okay.
and The Testament of Anne Lee.
Fair, considering what movies I know you like. Blue Moon and Eddington, I think, are Eddington more specifically. But so no Mission Impossible. That whole case for Christopher McQuarrie, but no Best Picture for Mission Impossible 8.
Yeah, no. The movie's not amazing, but the directing is. Like McQuarrie would be like my like pick of like the person who doesn't get the picture nomination but does get in for director.
That makes sense, but it's just funny. My nominations for Best Picture are somewhat consistent, are probably about 50-50 consistent, maybe 60-40 consistent. And I didn't do alphabetical order, and I noticed you did. But we have Sinners, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Bugonia, Frankenstein, No Other Choice, and this is where and The Testament of Anne Lee, which I know we agree, and this is where things get different. Twinless, and my last one is like really an out there one, or not out there, but just like surprising. Nouvelle Vague, the other Linklater movie that came out this year. Listen, I know how you feel about it because I know you like Blue Moon so much. I loved Nouvelle Vague. Okay, I thought Blue Moon was like good, but I saw Nouvelle Vague on 35 at the Vista, like by myself. Jack Black was there for some reason.
Jack Black's always at the best.
I just had the most amazing time. I had like 3 root beers. I loved it. I had so much fun. It was so charming. I mean, as much as we were talking about Hollywood loves movies about themselves, I mean, this is not a movie about Hollywood, but it's a movie about making movies. And I think that's part of why I liked it, was because it was a movie about making movies that wasn't about Hollywood. But I do like movies about making movies, just as much as Hollywood does. I'm like, I do. And but so
I really
like,
do.
I don't know. I mean, the same way that like Linklater's sensibilities, I think, translated really well for you with Blue Moon. I just think it was the same for me, but with his other movie. I loved how he translated his style to the French language, but also just to that kind of story. Because like you said, he's really good with like, just a cast of characters talking. And I loved every scene of everybody just talking. The Avengers of the French New Wave just like talking. So I am getting really philosophical about, cinema and everything. I don't know. I just really, really enjoyed that movie. And as far as like, Best Picture, like in totality, I know I haven't mentioned it like at all this whole time, but like that would be a movie where like I'd give it like Best Picture and then like some craft nominations. Like you said, like McQuarrie's like your director, but no picture. Like that's one where I'd be like, I'll throw it in Best Picture, but like, it might get like 1 or 2 other nominations, but like it's like almost Best Picture like level for me. And also I was like, what movies are like different?
But also like Justice for Kiss of the Spider Woman. My God, what a great movie, great musical, just completely overlooked. It didn't get anything.
I know they need to stop. They playing on Bill Condon's top for real, because you talking about somebody that should have had a director nomination for Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start there. Let's start there. All right, and then now you have like him do like giving I can't remember another musical outside of like Anne Lee that came out this year, which like I feel like, I mean, Anne Lee is a musical, but calling it a musical just feels like wrong. But like
I think it actually like plays really into like genre conventions of the musical, just not with traditional musical theater songs.
But I mean, outside of that, like, strongest musical of the year, strongest musical in a few years, actually, because the last year for musicals, what was that? What was that? We got Amelia Perez and Joker 2 in the same year. They wanted to kill us.
And Wicked.
They wanted to kill us. But Kiss of the Spider Woman, I think,
They wanted to kill me
is
specifically.
really, really strong. And Stacy, my friend who was on my last episode, it ended up in her favorites of the year as well. So I think she'd agree with you in that respect. But okay. That's it. That's everything. We've talked about everything. We're at the end. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, J-May. We're excited for the Oscars. Excited for March 15th.
Thank you for
we'll see how everything shakes out. Stay tuned for more episodes. We'll be talking about films from Sundance on our next episode, so stay tuned. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at OTR with Andrew. If you'd like to follow the podcast on Twitter, you can follow it at the OTR Andrew Pod. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd, you can follow me at AndyMike1209. That's ANDYMIKE1209. J-May, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, you can follow my Letterboxd at JMay658. That's all I have to plug.
Okay, well, thank you for listening. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, wait, actually, I do have one more plug. Yeah, Heated Rivalry on Crave Original.
On Crave, not HBO Max. Not HBO Max. No,
not
only
on
watch
HBO
on
Max.
Crave.
Only watch on Crave. Not on HBO Max. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about
Crave
it.
Only.
Crave
We
only.
do not support Zaslav on here.
We do not support.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Well, yes, go watch Heated Rivalry. But thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.